With us today is Jim Kennedy with Circulation Verification Council, and he is going to walk us through some of the changes and updates that are being made with some of the forms for your audit. And I felt rather than just send it to you and muddle through, I asked Jim if he would come on, show us around, explain what might be changed or what's important, especially now that all of you are doing more digital. So these numbers are as important now as your print editions are too. So Jim, take it away.
Great. Well, thank you, Alyse. I appreciate the opportunity to share this information with your members. We wanted to start first with the form that you see for the web and digital reporting, because as Alyse mentioned, under the circumstances right now with COVID-19, and it's going to be important to share with media buyers and advertisers the various platforms that you do utilize and engage your readers with. On this particular form, as you're well aware, the CVC reporting forms are your way of submitting your claims of distribution and engagement across your various platforms and with your print publication. But we want to take a few moments to walk through some of these forms and just give you an overview and an update on what some of them involve and are all about right now, particularly on this web form. This first tab, the web and digital booklet, has several tabs at the bottom. But this first tab is the principal one that involves both general website activity and mobile media activity. The top half will be general website, and that's items that you may receive via Google Analytics. As you're capturing your Google Analytics each month, you're going to enter that information. For instance, under the column of January, you would have your Google Analytics form where you're entering for that 30-day period the unique users, sessions, page views, the different metrics that is provided, again, through either Google or whatever hosting service you may have as far as an analytics provider.
Okay.
The bottom half is if you have a mobile app, and that's where you can begin to enter information in a similar format about your engagement with your readers through a mobile app activity. A lot of the terms are very similar to the website as far as unique users. You can also report there the number of subscribers. And I probably should backtrack as well too. On the website activity side, we have a section towards the bottom. If you do begin to have paywalls or paid subscriptions to your website, whether it be metered, what have you, you can enter those pieces of information as well too.
Okay.
So that's kind of a broad overview on those two sections. This one is for the digital edition, or some refer to as a replica edition. Again, this would be your flip page technology, where you have a carbon copy basically of the print edition in electronic format, whether it be a flip page or PDF format that's posted to your website. Some folks are using companies like Issue or JB Multimedia, just to name a few, that provide that type of technology. And there again, you're capturing some of the metrics that are available through those organizations and talking about the number of subscribers, A, or B, just raw traffic as far as unique users, again, page views, those type of metrics. And then the third tab, as you see here on the screen now, this is probably some of the more interesting and more widely used tabs that's come around in the last 2 years. Social media. Obviously, as folks are building Facebook pages, Twitter followers, Instagram pages, this is an opportunity to report that engagement with your readers. How many of your readers are following you through those different social media platforms? And then down below, particularly now in the times of COVID-19, if you're there's several publications that have currently maybe suspended the print operations, but they've ramped up their email media operations, sharing information about the community through e-newsletters, e-blasts that go out letting know about restaurants that are open, things along that line. And here again, that may be a MailChimp, Constant Contact, and those are the same type of platforms that you're going to use to provide the metrics in these monthly columns here. That also probably brings up an interesting point. As you're save a copy of those metrics, once you've submitted this form for your claims, we'll pull a sample of those months to where we'll ask for a sample constant contact report or MailChimp report. And again, we're just looking for the number of subscribers, the number of opens, open percent, things like that. Those will be provided in those metric forms.
Okay, do they need anything for the social media platform?
Some have metric platforms that they engage with. We usually recommend at the basic level just to simply go out there at the end of every month and capture that number. For instance, the Facebook likes in the first row there.
Right.
At the end of the month, grab that number off of your social site and then enter that information into that line.
Right, right. And that's pretty easy as far as getting that information from any of the social medias.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah,
and the same thing with the email.
Correct, correct. Yeah. Anytime you're going to get a dashboard report on your e-newsletters that you're going to review as far as showing the number of opens and the engagement with that particular product. And again, on these forms, as usual, you can expand these rows as needed. If you have 3 or 4 different newsletters, one maybe a weekly business update, some have monthly or quarterly special newsletters that they put out.
Okay.
You can insert rows as needed for each of those titles.
So in other words, they could here where 17 is, they could expand that and name that whatever that email blast is.
Correct.
Is that what you're saying?
Exactly
okay.
Right. Exactly
and
right.
The same thing with their Facebook. They might have a Facebook business page, but then have a Facebook group. Do you do that as well?
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You can differentiate each of those platforms as needed.
All right. Good. Good. Now, some of the publishers, and I don't know if this would be very beneficial, some of the publishers, and I'll use Washington Informer as an example, they do email blasts for businesses. So
Correct.
Is that, I'm assuming that the information on here is for your publications. Is that information?
They can utilize it. That would be
Okay.
the third line there where you see advertiser email databases.
Okay. Okay. All right.
That's where that row would come into play.
Okay.
The top two, and kind of walking through some of the terminology, and this does routinely get confused, but if you are a subscriber-based publication, the publication subscriber email database is a correlation to the print product. So if they were a print subscriber and also get the e-newsletter, they would go in that first row.
Okay.
But if you're a general saturation publication and you just have folks opting in to e-newsletter programs, that would be the second row, the non-subscriber email opt-in.
Right.
And as you mentioned, the third line, like the Washington Informer, if they are working for other businesses providing that service, that's where that would come into play on the advertiser email database.
And in a case like that, like on an average, I believe they have anywhere, now it might be more because of COVID-19, but a normal basis, they were having anywhere from 3 to 5 e-newsletters for advertisers on a weekly basis going out. So what they're going to show like in January is an accumulation of each of those weeks, or are they to ratchet it down and show you this is what we did for this client, this is what we did for that client?
What we would want to do there is, let's say you have 3 clients and it totals 10,000 emails that they're sending out to. That 10,000 figure, the subscribers per se, would be what you enter on the advertiser email database line.
Okay.
Where it then gets beneficial to what you mentioned is right below that, where it says a number of emails per month.
Okay.
And that's
See,
where,
if I'd look ahead.
no, you're in good shape. And that's where, over the course of the month, you may have 90 emails going out to those 10,000 subscribers. And that's the type of information and metrics you want to share, that showing the volume that's going out.
And that number of emails per month is the combination of not only the emails for the publication, but also the emails for the individual clients?
We can do that both ways. It can be a cumulative total. If you'd like to break those out as separate line items, we can focus on that as well. Both are acceptable.
Okay, so publishers, you can do that. All right, and then the same thing holds true. The open rates and the click rates and the bounce rates could be separated based on how is my publication doing versus how are the emails for the individual clients.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Okay. So this area could look totally different for each member publication based on how involved they are with email newsletter marketing.
Exactly. Yeah, we have some that expand this out by 12 or 15 rows, depending on how many e-newsletters they have. And
I can see that. I can see that. And I'm seeing more and more. I'm getting emails from our publishers, which is really great, that I never got before. So I'm going, ooh, they need to keep track of this.
Exactly. And that's some of the good things too, that, when we talk about monetizing some of the digital platforms, e-newsletters has been one of the easier areas to get into that type of information, as far as, providing some advertising around those campaigns that are going out.
And then text media, that's pretty cool.
Right, yeah, and actually there is a member within the MACPA organization that is doing some text initiatives. This is the same type of opportunity that if you have, where, again, you're working with different businesses or providing opportunities that, let's say you text 555 on your mobile device and you receive a 10% off coupon for a pizza or something along that line. That's where you can share those type of metrics, as far as the number of subscribers or phone numbers that you're blasting to. And same type of information can be shared in those.
So it's publication subscribers, as though, just like you said with the email, if it happens that they subscribe to your publication, it would be, this is where you put the data if you have that text available as well. And then the advertiser, that's where you're sending out texts to your advertisers about, hey, we have this coming up.
Right.
What that is?
That is, and like I say, the advertiser text database would, again, using the text, the pizza company, if they share 1,000 phone numbers with you and you're doing that work for them, that's where that line item would be.
Okay, and of course the non-subscribers, for anybody who is saturation based, that's where it would go.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yep, that's pretty good. That could also be huge and expanded.
Right. Yeah. That's there's not a lot of folks taking advantage of that, but it's an area of opportunity that I think a number of publications could take a look at and have some gained revenue in those type of initiatives. The newest area, we've just added this form within the last year. Again, this gets into video content and podcast opportunities. This can be things like YouTube channels, Facebook Live video postings, podcast, as you mentioned. And again, the same type of opportunities there to capture metrics, whether it just be as basic as a number of subscribers to your YouTube channel. But then if you dive deeper into the metrics as far as how many videos you are posting per month, some of the viewing time cycles that are available there. And again, as those metrics evolve, these lines can change and expand as needed to fit the type of metrics that you wish to report.
Now, if they sense that, I mean, you've thought this all through, if they sense that they have a line that they feel will be beneficial for people to know.
Mm-hmm.
Do they add that? Do they call you? Do they just
Yeah,
put it under other?
they probably just shoot us a quick email or call us, and we can talk about whether or not it would fit into an existing spot, or we can customize a row of reporting for them.
Right.
We'd be happy to accommodate either way.
Right.
If there is, as many different platforms there are out there, there's that many variations of analytics or platform or dashboard reporting. So like I say, we've tried to hit the basics here on these forms. But again, that's where we say that we can expand these lines out as needed to meet the metrics that are being provided by hosting service.
Right. And then the last is the instructions for each.
Right. And that's just kind of a glossary of terms for each of those tabs, kind of defines some of those rows and gives them some insight to what type of metric they might be looking for when they're reviewing their dashboard reports.
Yeah. So that they can go through. So if they have any questions, they can reach out to you. And
yeah, always call or email anytime. We'd be happy to help them out that way. The reporting calendar, that's just a simple reminder. You have it pulled up on the screen here. Gives you an idea of the different reporting due dates. Right now, the next one coming up is Friday for the first quarter. There again, under the situation we're in with COVID-19, if folks need extra weeks just because they can't get back into their office and access data or anything like that, we're more than happy to accommodate whenever that data would be available to send in to us. So like I say, that's just a target date, but whenever it's available to send in to us, we'd be happy to work with them on that.